A number of things to point out. The first is President Tinubu's trip to India. We were told that he was going for the G20 and that there will be a roundtable, Nigeria-India presidential roundtable, and also a business group B20 meeting in which Nigeria will participate. I raised a question earlier, and I think it needs to be reiterated as follows: that President Tinubu traveled for a September 9 to 10 event on September 4. Why? The invitation that we're told is from the President or the Prime Minister of India, was it dated that he should arrive on September 4? Who received him when he arrived? We've seen the presidency releasing pictures of his meeting with the Hinduja group, which is a transnational Indian group over 109 years. Yes, you've quoted promises, rhetoric, oh, come and invest in Nigeria, Minister of Trade being directed. Nigeria does all of that. You know, usually we don't follow up. I tell you, it's when we see the outcome that we will believe it. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is a ministry that is very busy with ceremonies. They will always organize ceremonies for the President of Nigeria. And President, one after the other, they enjoy these ceremonies because of the photo opportunities. I want that what we're going to India to do may well be at best photo ops. And the pictures are already coming out. So meeting with individual group, that's not the news. I would have preferred it if President Tinubu was received at the airport by Narendra Modi himself. Okay, you give excuse. You say he's at the ASEAN conference ahead of this thing. But why go to a September 9 event on September 4? Is there a linkage between that and the September 6th delivery of judgment in the presidential election petition at the tribunal? So I just urge Nigerians to try to look at all of this and do the connections. So when President Tinubu maybe arrives and we face a burlesque on our hands, or a melodrama, or a farcical, sycophantic reception for him, in case he triumphs at the tribunal, then it will look like, you know, people are just taking us for a ride. So we put up our thinking caps and think. You were talking about what to watch this week. Another thing to watch is the Asian countries conference, the ASEAN conference, taking place in Jakarta. In Jakarta, Indonesia, hosted by President Widodo.
Yep.
Now, it turned out that yesterday, one of the issues that came out from that ASEAN conference was that the member countries resolved that Myanmar cannot be the next host. Myanmar will have been in the order of the schedule the next host in 2026. And why is it that Myanmar cannot host? Because of the civil strife in Myanmar, because military intervention is still in place in Myanmar. So that's a message to the people who are organizing coups in West and Central Africa, that if you are rejected by your community, it has implications. The coup leaders in Myanmar are saying they were not invited. Yes, of course, they were suspended from attending ASEAN meetings. So these things have their implications. But the bigger issues at the ASEAN conference, of course, is trying to reconcile India and China and Russia and the United States. Today, tomorrow, they will be meeting with some of these, you know, important persons. Sergei Lavrov from Russia, Kamala Harris from the United States, and then Li Qiang from China. So you have in that regional body, you know, issues that are also of a transnational nature. But the moral lesson of it that I wanted to point out is how the military leaders of Myanmar have been told that they cannot host, you know, the ASEAN conference in 2026 because of the political crisis that they have imposed in that country. And I hope that the boys in Niger and Gabon, you know, and in other West African countries